as I've gotten older and experienced, I have more heartbreak in my wake. I have more pain I've endured. I feel like each heartbreak is exponentially worse than the last. And obviously, there's some variance. It depends on the length of the relationship. It depends on the depth of the connection. There's a lot of variables, but it seems like some of these heartbreaks that I've gone through recently are infinitely worse than ones I experienced like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And I don't know that the breakups were any worse necessarily. I just think, maybe I'm more sensitive. Maybe my hope bubble has gotten too big, and then when it bursts, it's more painful than it was in the past because the hope bubble wasn't as big. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that it's really difficult to not let things compound. Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily saying it's healthy or that it's wise.
No, me neither.
I'm just saying that it's difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Because, let's be honest, if you were trying to get a job, let's say that you were unemployed, it was another market crash, mm-hmm. you're going to feel a lot more despondent on your 8th rejection than you are on your 1st. Mm-hmm. They're just going to compound on each other. I don't know how you can't let that happen. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's just a natural factor that takes place. And what I mean by compound is I think that the pain of all the past heartbreak kind of comes back, and the wake of, I heard, I don't even know if it's true, but I heard a pastor say that, depression is when you imagine the way life should be, and then you compare it against the way that it is. Yeah. And I think that, I've heard someone say that expectations can be premeditated resentments for God, mm-hmm. and hope is general and based on the fact that a loving God holds our future. And I really like that because I think where I get in trouble is where I have expectations for how my life should be at this age. Yeah. And I think that's, it's like, okay, well, by this age, mm-hmm. I should have had this, and this, and I don't, so now I'm depressed. Right. So if I can reset my viewpoints and just say life on life's terms and say, okay, God, whatever you have in store for me is fine with me. Yeah. And kind of reset and try and actually tune in with His will for my life instead of always being dissatisfied with my unmet expectations. Yeah. And I think that's another thing that's difficult is in our culture as you do get older, mm-hmm. and as I think rejections are going to get more difficult because you feel like this vision of this life that you imagined mm-hmm. that you'd always have seems to be getting farther and farther away. Yeah. When in reality, we could be getting closer and closer to the life that God always intended for us, right? And it makes me think of the saying that God's will is a good deal. Mm-hmm. So it's like we're getting closer and closer to the best thing for us. Yeah. But if I keep on holding it up to the light of what I think is best for my life, mm-hmm. I think that's when my depression starts to compound. Yeah. So